Hey guys, this is Eddie Brophy. We're doing play-by-play. This is Jay. He's going to give us the first match he ever saw, or the match that made the biggest impression on him as a kid. So if you want to set this clip for us here.
Absolutely. All right, I'll take you back to summer of 1998. It's probably 11 o'clock at night. I'm probably trying to find episodes of South Park or something online and on TV.
We didn't have computers back then.
So I flick through the channels and I wind up on this scene that catches my eyes, and of course it does. 1998, Hell in the Cell, Raw's War, Mankind versus Kane. All right, let's go right into it.
God, I don't even know if I remember this match.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was weird is, like, everybody remembers the Taker Mankind match. Finding this match online was ridiculously hard. It's almost like a forgotten gem. Well, to me, it's awesome, and it's like...
I like that we have a nice yin and yang going, because right before we got into this, you were just saying to me, wow, I kind of remember that Jake and Undertaker match being a lot better. And I said to you, like, I remember not being impressed, but I certainly remember thinking that it's a lot better than what we watched. So I'm kind of hoping that possibly the addition of a Hell in the Cell match for...
I mean, yeah, it's one of only 2 Raw Hell in the Cell matches, like free Hell in the Cell matches they've ever done.
Now, if you're watching this is when the World Wildlife Fund won the battle. It wasn't the WCW was never the real threat. It was the World Wildlife Fund.
Of course.
We could easily beat Ted Turner. Ted Turner was not the enemy here. It was the Pandas.
Completely off topic, but high school, the girls' locker room, they had a WWF Panda logo with, the logo. Somebody has gone in since. I found a picture, I don't know where, and scribbled in an E, and then put, I forget if it was like a Warrior quote or something like that, in the belt.
I don't even want to know. I'll go into how you know what the girls' locker room in high school.
I found some picture. I was looking up World Wildlife, and I was like, I don't know.
I don't want to know how we got there.
Girls' locker room. Not recently, mind you. I remember.
Now I'm putting Jay on edge.
Okay.
I've officially been let go. I've been feature endeavored as my duties as a co-host, a competent co-host, mind you. And I like how we find a Taker that actually looks like he's physically there.
Yeah, they do exist in the same universe.
There was never a replacement Taker. It has always been Mark Calloway, I can assure you. God, I remember, and again, Kane, the gimmick is not very impressive. The outfit isn't even that flattering, but that was a perfect storm. Great music, Jim Johnson doing the music there. The outfit is simple, but I don't know what it was about Kane, but there was always something about that character.
I think it's just because you couldn't grasp his face, and you're just like, that's a dude who will fucking kill you.
Yeah. But this is another one because Mankind was always one of my... And I kind of hated the suit and tie kind of gimmick he came up with because personally... And there he goes trying to go back up the cage again.
I do like how they tried to stop him because this is after the King of the Ring match.
And I'm wondering how the hell he's doing this because I believe he has a separated shoulder at the time.
And I'll jump ahead, but I rewatched a couple clips of this the other day, and I think they tried to, on TV, mind you, redo the spot from the King of the Ring, and it kind of works, but it's not as impressive as the King of the Ring one. But it's like, I think they just did this match just so they could capitalize on that. And
absolutely.
See it again.
Well, because there's a big difference between having this spot set up by your 2 wrestlers that I'm sure there were people in the back that knew Mick Foley's flying off the cage tonight.
Yeah.
It was probably a very select few, group of people who knew about this, but I do absolutely feel though that the people that couldn't spring the $30, they wanted to give them something. But you're giving a guy that has a separated shoulder, fell off the cage not once but twice the night before. Such a defeatist. Gave up on the chair.
Now I barely remembered who was in the match and what specific opponents. The match a couple months before this I thought was the match, but it didn't fit the timeline. But there's a spot in that match where I was going off of logic where Kane comes out. Is it Kane? For some reason, Kane needed to get in or out of the cage, and he couldn't. He was trying to break through the top,
Right.
or pull off the door. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. He just pulled off the door a couple months ago to beat the hell out of Undertaker, but he's suddenly, and
That's when it totally screws with your suspension of disbelief because wait a second.
I mean, do you even want to comment on the Undertaker brother parents died story, where that all is? It's hard to follow. Who's father? Who's really brother? Are they full brothers? Are they half brothers?
I feel like halfway through that entire story, they kind of gave up because I feel like the Undertaker Kane match at WrestleMania 14 was supposed to be a 2 main event bill. It was supposed to be you had Austin and Michaels, and then because you have to imagine, dude, they had no idea what kind of shape Michaels was going to be in, and this is stuff I've learned about since. Yeah. First seeing that pay-per-view about Michaels breaking his back off the coffin at the Royal Rumble and all that.
That was scary.
And that's why he didn't do No Way Out, because if they were going to get one last match out of him, they're going to get the Mania match.
Mania and give Austin a push.
So I feel like and obviously they had planned to bring Kane in and they had planned this whole story around, but I feel like they tried to almost embellish it a little more for the sake of Mania, because if, God forbid, we couldn't give them the Austin Michaels match that they would have wanted, the best we can do then is the Kane-Undertaker match that they want.
Yeah, but and that storyline between Undertaker and Kane, I think, was better at that point, where it wasn't so convoluted. Where it's
absolutely.
Like, we're brothers. You tried to kill me, and I'm back.
Where
or accidentally killed me.
Where my point though is where it gets convoluted for me, I think, is that they did not expect Austin to be. Now, this was a guy that had the entire crowd behind it. He was redefining the business even without that belt. Yep. I still don't think that they realized what they had on their hands by giving him the belt and officially Jim Ross saying the Austin era has begun and realizing what that would mean. Yep. I think they were still kind of, all right, well, we got this Kane Undertaker thing that we're still kind of working with. We got this degeneration. Well, we just lost, a founding member. All right, we'll try to figure out something to do with Triple H, because that's another concern too. Is now you've been building Triple H as this cohort to Shawn Michaels for so long. What the hell is he gonna do? Because I don't think that they felt Triple H was ready to go on his own yet.
Or maybe they were still biased from the
infamous, yeah. But I will comment though that watching the older Hell in the Cell matches is difficult because I feel like the cage always varied between being too big or too small. Yeah. And I feel like that's something they've definitely worked on.
I mean, this is the version I had, so I love this version. But the one now, it feels like it's like, I don't know, 2 stories higher than it ever was.
Well, because it's funny you say that, because I'm watching this right now, and I had just recently gone back and watched the 6-pack challenge Hell in the Cell from Armageddon and thinking, wow, as the guys are coming into the ring, like, wow, that cell is way too small. Like, how are they going to do, like, bigger spots?
They busted off the door and everybody fought outside.
Yeah, Vince McMahon came out with the landscaping truck.
See, but to me, this is like, let's just redo the match that we had at Kane.
Oh, absolutely.
Ring. I mean,
because the funny thing is, you could tell that it was supposed to be identical because he's literally going for every big spot in that match.
Here's the thumbtacks coming now, so
he physically can't handle it though. That's what prevented it. And I personally, I don't see Kane being the kind of guy that's as good of a sport about landing on thumbtacks with Mick Foley as probably Undertaker was.
Does he have? Yeah, he's got the double arm suit, so he didn't want anything piercing his arm.
Well, that was the cool thing about the First Blood match between him and Austin was the introduction of that new suit.
Yeah, they covered it and you couldn't see anything.
Well, the stipulation being, if you win, I'm going to set myself on fire. And I mean, obviously, we've seen the Inferno match before, so we know when he's covered, that's the part of the body that's going on fire.
He didn't even land on the tacks.
It's sideways tombstone all over
right
again.
Into it. Wow.
And I swear I almost heard Jim Ross just say, his ass is all over those tacks.
Oh, yeah, they're tag team champions at the time, too.
That was a unique tag team. I did like them.
Partners that hate each other, which it happens all the time now, but then it was...
It was definitely... The cool thing, too, was also when... I know this was also the summer that I believe X-Pac Triple H had a match against each other in the New Age Outlaws. Tax all on Kane's ass. I'm just now noticing that. You got to give these guys some credit because he's got to be thinking in his mind right now just how goofy that's got to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very challenged. I'm having a hard time trying to keep a straight face with this.
I mean, but, being 11 years old, flipping through the channels at 11 o'clock at night, you seeing this, and it's like, of course this catches my eye. Two guys in masks in a cage beating themselves up with chairs and thumbtacks. Well, again, I'm sold.
Well, again, to any young guy, any young boy, I mean, it's classic Universal monsters. This
is the Jerry Springer, the Tom Green, anything outrageous. So, it makes sense now, and it's kind of what I define as the Attitude Era, even though it's kind of like this lost nugget. But
there are so many phenomenal, and I would love to, perhaps for a future show, track down the casket match on Monday Night Raw between The Rock and Undertaker when Triple H went full-blown heel and smashed the shit out of the casket with the sledgehammer. That, to me, that was when I became afraid of Triple H. He was no longer the crotch chop guy anymore. He was a legitimate threat.
He lost everything. He lost the gear he was wearing. He lost the music. He lost, the catchphrases. He started from some scratch. And
well, again, and and he had that, rough start with that awful Backlash 99 music that he came out to. I feel like Jim Johnson was like, dude, we're not ready for your new music yet.
Or he just went into the stack and was just like,
I know.
But they turned that into a legendary theme, eventually. Because there's variations of it.
There's variations of it, the original version.
And
here comes Austin.
There's another spot that I don't even know if you'll remember. I'll wait for it. But it's pretty awesome. And it's like, there's no fucking way they would do that today. It's coming up, but...
I even think that just, the merchandise and just seeing that shirt, that iconic Wanna Race Some Hell shirt, and just remembering how even the merchandising was just as entertaining.
Genius and clever and nothing some of the stuff now, it's like, I'd be embarrassed to wear some of that stuff. The reason the CM Punk white shirt worked was that's cool. That's, you don't have to, it's ambiguous, but it's also what is this?
It grabs your attention. There's a reason why that shirt sold out. And I mean, there was a Colt Cabana interview where Colt Cabana even said that shirt outsold most of Cena's stuff. And even it outsold the Eddie Guerrero tribute shirt.
Nobody came close, and he blew him out of the water, they said, for years. So this is another part that I love, the stomping through the cage.
And again, they're raising the cage with Undertaker still on it.
That's the spot I was talking about. I'm like, the height that he eventually get. I'm like, in lieu of the Owen Hart incident, I don't even know if the arena would probably be made aware of this.
And meanwhile, look at the man behind the switchboard,
I bet he's literally doing it, saying, I'm going to take the heat for it, so.
And what I love about that, too, is that I remember going back years ago, or actually it wasn't long after the Owen Hart incident, and WrestleMania 15 when the Brood came down from the rafters and they broke into the cell and they lowered the noose down.
Oh, that was crazy.
Again, awful match. And I'm not selling The Undertaker very well tonight, but awful match between Bossman and Taker. Excellent
That's one
finish,
way you're just really, Bossman? That's all you have for Undertaker at this WrestleMania? And one of the biggest WrestleManias to that point, and the best we got is Bossman.
That was overall, that Mania was a real disappointing Mania. I mean, it was funny because that was one of those years where the In Your House pay-per-views were more amazing than
build
the
up.
Yeah,
I mean, the Mania was the Rock and Austin match.
It was a one-match pay-per-view, and don't get me wrong, that was a great match. But personally, I think their rematch of Backlash is 10 times better.
But this is ultimately awesome. Stare down between the champ and Undertaker going into SummerSlam, raising him to the ceiling. That's cool. It builds it. If only they could.
They tend to end Raws now with a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Whereas this ended with a guy standing on top of a cell that was lowered from the rafters. So, I mean, it engages you. And I'm not shocked that this is definitely your pick.
Yeah, of course. This hooked me. So, all right. That's it for my favorite match. I'm Jason Smith.
I'm Eddie Brophy, so you don't have to be.
Thanks for watching.